Hello, and welcome to the English Learning Podcast, where we help you improve your English in fun and effective ways. I'm Jason, your host, and today we have an exciting topic that might surprise you.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. Have you ever wondered if you can learn English while sleeping? Sounds too good to be true, right?
Well, it's actually possible. There's growing research that suggests your brain continues to process information even when you're asleep. So, listening to English while you sleep might help reinforce what you've learned during the day.
Exactly. And in today's episode, we'll explore how this works, what you should listen to, and how to use this technique effectively to improve your English skills.
Whether you're struggling with vocabulary, pronunciation, or just want to expose yourself to more English, this method can be a great way to boost your learning effortlessly.
That's right. But before we dive in, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and follow us for more English learning tips.
All right, so let's get started and talk about the science behind learning while sleeping. How does it actually work? Let's find out. So, Julia, let's get into the science behind this. Can we really learn English while we're sleeping?
Great question, Jason. The short answer is yes, but not in the way most people think. You won't wake up fluent in English overnight, but your brain does continue to process information while you sleep.
That's fascinating. So, what exactly happens in our brains when we sleep?
Well, when we sleep, our brain goes through different sleep cycles, including deep sleep and REM sleep. During these stages, the brain organizes and strengthens memories. This process is called memory consolidation. It helps store new information and makes learning more effective.
Oh, so that means if we've been studying English during the day, our brain continues working on it while we sleep?
Exactly. Scientists have found that when people hear words, phrases, or even music during sleep, their brains react to them. This means that if you listen to English conversations, vocabulary, or phrases while sleeping, your brain may reinforce what you've already learned.
That's incredible. Are there any studies that prove this?
Yes! There was an interesting study conducted by Swiss researchers. They had two groups of people study a foreign language. One group listened to the words while sleeping, and the other didn't. Guess what? The group that listened to the words during sleep remembered them better the next day.
Wow, that's amazing. So, this proves that our brains can absorb information passively while we sleep.
Exactly. But there's one important thing to remember. Sleep learning works best as a supplement to active learning. You still need to practice speaking, writing, and listening during the day.
That makes sense. So, if someone wants to use this technique, what's the best way to do it?
Great question. That's what we'll talk about next. How to use this method effectively for English learning.
All right. Now that we understand the science behind learning while sleeping, let's talk about how to actually use this method for English learning. Julia, what's the first step?
The first step is choosing the right type of content. Not all English audio is good for sleep learning. You want something clear, slow, and repetitive so your brain can process it easily.
That makes sense. So, what are some good examples?
Good options include basic English conversations, dialogues between native speakers, common English phrases and vocabulary repeated words help memory, sleep-friendly podcasts or audiobooks with slow, clear pronunciation, positive affirmations in English for confidence building.
I love that. So instead of playing a random English movie, it's better to listen to structured and simple content, right?
Exactly. Movies or fast conversations can be too complicated, and your brain might struggle to process them while sleeping.
Got it. Now, after choosing the right content, what's the next step?
The second step is setting up your environment properly. You need to 1. Keep the volume low. It should be soft and relaxing, not distracting. 2. Use a sleep timer. so the audio doesn't play all night. 3. Choose the right device. A small speaker or comfortable headphones work best.
That's great advice. So, instead of blasting English lessons all night, it's better to play them softly and for a limited time.
Exactly. Your brain can still pick up information even at a low volume.
Okay, so let's say someone does this every night. How can they know if it's working?
Great question. The best way to check your progress is to test yourself the next day. For example, repeat the words you heard and see if you remember them. Write down key phrases from the audio. Try using them in a sentence during the day.
That's a smart approach. So, by reviewing what you heard during sleep, you reinforce what you've learned.
Exactly. The key is combining sleep learning with active practice. If you do both, you'll notice real improvement over time.
Awesome! Now that we know how to use this method, let's talk about what kind of content works best for sleep learning. Stay with us. Now that we know how to set up sleep learning, let's talk about the most important part: what to actually listen to while sleeping. Julia, what are the best types of content for this?
Great question, Jason. Not all audio is effective for sleep learning. You need content that is clear, slow-paced, and repetitive so your brain can absorb it naturally. Here are some of the best options. 1. English conversations. Listening to simple, everyday conversations helps with natural sentence structure and pronunciation. 2. Common phrases and vocabulary. Repeated exposure to basic words and phrases strengthens memory. 3. Slow audiobooks or storytelling. Simple English stories with clear narration are great for listening practice. 4th, guided sleep learning audios. Specially designed audios that repeat words and phrases gently. 5. Positive affirmations in English. Encouraging statements like "I am confident in English" can help with motivation and mindset.
That's a great list. I love the idea of listening to real conversations because it helps learners understand how English is spoken naturally.
Exactly. And when you hear the same phrases repeatedly, your brain starts recognizing them automatically.
That makes sense. But what about background noise? Some people listen to music or white noise when they sleep. Does that help?
Yes, soft background music or white noise can actually make sleep learning more effective because it helps you relax. Some sleep learning audios even combine English words with gentle nature sounds to improve focus.
That sounds perfect. But what about podcasts like this one? Can listening to English podcasts while sleeping help?
Yes, but with one rule: the podcast should be slow and clear. Some podcasts have fast conversations which might be too difficult to process during sleep. It's better to listen to podcasts designed for learners like this one, or ones with simple storytelling.
That's a great tip. So, to sum up, the best things to listen to while sleeping are slow conversations, vocabulary audios, audiobooks, and gentle affirmations, with soft background sounds if needed.
Exactly. Now, if you're wondering how to get the best results from sleep learning, stay with us because next, we'll share the best practices to maximize your learning.
All right. Now that we know what to listen to while sleeping, let's talk about how to get the best results from this technique. Julia, what are some best practices for maximizing learning while sleeping?
Great question, Jason. If you want to make sleep learning truly effective, you need to follow a few key steps. Here are some of the best practices. 1. Listen to familiar content. Your brain learns best when it reinforces information you already know. Don't listen to completely new material. Review words and phrases you've studied before.
That's interesting. So, if I'm learning new vocabulary, I should study it during the day and then listen to it at night?
Exactly. This technique is called re-exposure, and it helps move information from short-term to long-term memory. 2. Keep the audio clear and slow. Avoid fast conversations or complex topics. Choose recordings where speakers talk slowly and clearly. Repetition is key. The more you hear it, the better you remember it.
That makes sense. If the speech is too fast, it might be harder for the brain to process during sleep. 3. Use a sleep timer. Instead of playing audio all night, set a sleep timer for about 1 to 2 hours. This helps prevent disruptions to your deep sleep cycle. Oh, that's a smart tip. Some people think they need to listen all night, but that might not be the best approach. 4. Combine sleep learning with active practice. Sleep learning works best when combined with speaking, writing, and listening practice during the day. Try repeating words and phrases the next morning to strengthen memory.
Exactly. If you listen at night but never practice during the day, you won't improve much. You need both. 5. Stay consistent. Sleep learning isn't magic. It takes time. Try listening to English every night for a few weeks and see how much you improve.
That's great advice. So, to sum it up, the best practices for sleep learning are: 1. Listen to content you've already studied. 2. Choose slow and clear audio. 3. Use a sleep timer. 4. Combine sleep learning with active practice. 5. Stay consistent.
Yes, if you follow these steps, you'll see real improvements in your English over time.
Amazing! Now that we've covered best practices, let's move on to our next topic: common mistakes to avoid when using sleep learning. Stay with us. We've talked about the science, the best methods, and even common mistakes to avoid. But now, let's hear some real-life success stories. Julia, do you know anyone who has successfully used sleep learning to improve their English?
Yes, Jason. One great example is Emma, a university student from Spain. She struggled with English pronunciation, but she started listening to simple English conversations every night. After just 2 months, she noticed she could understand and repeat phrases more easily.
That's amazing. It really shows how consistent listening can help with fluency.
Exactly. Another story is David from Japan. He wanted to improve his vocabulary but had a busy schedule. So he started listening to English word lists with example sentences while sleeping. Over time, he found that words felt more familiar, and he could recall them faster in conversations.
That's inspiring. It proves that sleep learning isn't just a theory. It actually works if you use it the right way.
Yes, and many people have seen results, but the key is combining sleep learning with active practice during the day.
Absolutely. So, if you're listening to this podcast and wondering if sleep learning works, these real-life success stories show that it does.
Exactly. And coming up next, we'll answer an important question. Can you become fluent just by listening while sleeping? Stay with us.
Wow, we've covered a lot today. From the science of sleep learning to the best practices and even real-life success stories. Let's quickly summarize the key takeaways.
Great idea. Here's what we learned today. Sleep learning works, but it's most effective when combined with active practice. Choose the right content, slow, clear, and repetitive English audio. Use a sleep timer so the audio doesn't disrupt your deep sleep. Review what you learned the next morning to reinforce memory. Stay consistent. Practice this method for several weeks to see real results.
Yes, and remember, sleep learning won't make you fluent overnight, but it's a powerful tool to support your English learning journey.
Exactly. So if you want to improve your English while sleeping, start tonight, pick a simple English conversation, set a sleep timer, and make it a habit.
That's a great challenge. And if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe and share it with other English learners.
Yes, keep practicing, keep listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. Happy learning.
Before we wrap up today's episode, we want to remind you to take action. Start using the sleep learning method tonight and see how much it can improve your English.
And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. If you enjoyed today's content, leave us a review. We'd love to hear how sleep learning is working for you.
Also, check out the show notes for links to recommended resources, including sleep-friendly English audiobooks and podcasts.
Thank you for joining us today. Remember, consistency is key, and with a little effort every night, you'll notice big improvements in your English.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode.